And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Thursday night edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International, and I get to be the host tonight. So I'm pretty excited. I'm actually really excited because I have a guest that's going to come on here in a couple of minutes and share her story with you. Dr. Pat Andersen, well known throughout the Zija community, one of our top income earners, got a wealth of information to share with you. But first, what I want to do is I want to, formally welcome all of you to tonight's broadcast. Certainly our well-established distributors, a number of our top leaders have joined us this evening, many of our new distributors, but in particular, I want to welcome those of you that have been invited as a guest, because that's really what tonight's information is for you. A friend, maybe a family member, work associate, has been sharing with you a little bit about what we're doing. Maybe you've been one of our customers for a while and interested in taking a look at what what this concept of a home-based business is all about. And first question I want to ask you is, do you know why you were invited here tonight, or maybe to the replay? Very simply, it's because the person that asked you to join us as a guest, they probably felt like you'd fit right in. I mean, if you look at the Zija community, there's a wide range of people here. We've got, old and young. We've got old folks like me, they're in their 60s and 70s. We got young folks, millennials, Generation X. We've got, single people. We've got people looking for retirement income, single parents. It's just a wide range of people, professionals, blue collar guys like me. I used to be a cross country truck driver. And, and frankly, if you're like most people are looking for a way to either, create some additional income, maybe, find a way to have more time freedom to, live a more exciting life, more life, less job, or looking for something more fun, maybe some more meaningful to their lives. And for many of us, this concept of a home-based business is fulfilled on all of those and many, many times over. For myself personally, this arena of home-based business, or what oftentimes called network marketing profession, it's been a way for me to be able to today stay at home. I care for my 93-year-old mother at home. We've been dealing with dementia issues for a few years now. And this has allowed me, this home-based business, to work from home so I can keep her in an environment that she's familiar with, that she wants to be in, and to be able to create an income as the second priority. My first priority being to care for my mother. Second priority, to create the financial resources necessary to do so and do it from home. For other people, it's been a way to, young couples to be able to make us an additional income from home. That way they can have, one parent at home with the kids and one parent working. That's the way it used to be, right? For others, it's a way to create, the level of income they want in their retirement. For younger people, it's been a way for them to do something meaningful. Maybe the corporate world that they got their education for really wasn't what they were looking for, and a way to do something with meaning, something that's exciting, and to do it on their own terms and their own time frame. Whatever it is that, you might be looking for, you will find like-minded people here with Zija. And so what I want to do tonight is I want to do two things. I want to share with you a little bit about our company, kind of as an overview, just give you, if you will, whet your taste buds to want to learn more about us. And I want to introduce you to one of the people that's been a leader in our company, who actually started part-time without really any interest in building a business, and has grown to be one of our top earners. So first, a little bit about us. Okay, Zija International, we're a company, we've now been in business over 10 years. Make note of that, because that's extremely rare in network marketing, to find a company that's been in business 10 years or longer. We've already done over $1 billion in cumulative sales during that time. Take note of that, because that's also extremely rare. The fact that we've been in business over a decade, done over $1 billion in sales, that literally puts us in the top 1% of all network marketing companies that have ever existed in the 70 plus years that this business model has been around. Our company is, the foundation of our company is our corporate leadership. Our company was founded by a gentleman by the name of Ken Brailsford. You might not recognize Ken's name, but you know who he is. Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. He's the first person that put medicinal herbs into those little gel caps we're all familiar with today, to be able to make it easier for the average person to consume the benefits of medicinal herbs. Ken started his first company 45 years ago, Nature's Sunshine. Many of you may recognize that company. They've been in business, as I said, 4.5 decades. They've done cumulatively billions in sales, and they still continue to be one of the top companies in the network marketing profession. Ken started his second company in the mid-'80s. They've been in business now well over 30 years. Continues today under the name of Unicity. The original name was, sorry, I'm gonna miss that one. But you know, Ken's second company, now over 30 years in business, billions in sales. Ken was in retirement actually when he started our company, Zija International, 13 years ago or so. And it was all because of a documentary he saw on the Discovery Channel on the Moringa oleifera tree. Now, many of you are recognize the name Moringa. Moringa was all over the news this past year as being, you know, the superfood of, you know, 2019. Everybody and their brother was touting the benefits of Moringa oleifera tree. We brought that to market 13 years ago. We have been since that time the world's #1 grower, harvester, importer, and developer of Moringa oleifera products. Ken has been able to associate himself because of who he is. He has brought to the table some of the finest minds in the industry. Our management team is led by Jeremy Redd, took over the helm of day-to-day operations as CEO here just this past year. Has done amazing things with the company. Jeremy Redd and his management team have already had the experience of taking two companies that are the size that we are today and carrying them to $1 billion in annual sales. Now make note of that number, because in the history of network marketing today as it exists, there's only about 12 companies that are operating today that have done over $1 billion in annual sales. And that's the people that are running our company. So look at the company. Second thing, look at the products. Our products are products that everybody wants, everybody needs, everybody's looking for. They just don't know that we're here. If you look at anything, television advertising, everybody's talking about healthy, natural, plant-based, green, clean, you know, GMO-free. Zija International is that company. Our products, you know, run the gamut from, you know, nutritional products based on our Moringa oleifera, you know, Smart Mix drink. Healthy weight management products to help people lose weight, maintain it, and do it healthy without having to diet and count points and all that sort of thing. Sports nutrition products. One of the fastest growing area of nutritional supplementation is in sports nutrition. We've got a complete line of healthy, natural sports nutrition products. Personal care, skin care products. Everybody out there is using these kinds of products, you know, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, mouthwash, deodorant, so on and so forth. Or at least we're hoping everybody's using that stuff. And everybody's looking for a healthier product without the chemicals and the additives. You know, household products. All of the things that people consume today are available to them through Zija International, competitive pricing, but it's the kinds of things they want. Natural, plant-based, healthy. Now, add one more thing to the mix. Experienced corporate leadership, right kinds of products, timing. Timing is everything. And that's why we are so excited right now, because Zija International is poised for exponential growth over the next several years. Everything is in place, but we've added one more thing to the mix that is a guarantee of explosive growth for us over the next several years. And that is our entry into the CBD oil market space. Now, just about everybody out there has heard something about CBD oils. The more you learn about the science behind this, the more you're going to want to be involved, at least as a consumer. And when you recognize the potential of the marketplace, I believe Forbes magazine early part of the year said that the CBD oil market space was about $500 million in sales last year. They're projecting it to grow to over $20 billion That's a 40-fold increase within the next 2.5 years. I mean, you don't have to be a guru in finance to realize there's a tremendous marketplace there. Zija International has entered that market space with our transdermal application, our CBD Square, 24 hours, put it on, peel it, stick it, leave it. It is the cutting edge of science in that industry. And because we are manufacturing that product in our own state-of-the-art NSF certified manufacturing facilities, we are immune from any kind of regulation that's going to come into place, because it's only inevitable that every person out there in the world can't just be able to market CBD oil. That's going to happen, right? So we've got the right corporate leadership, the right products, and the right timing. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Pat Andersen. Pat, just a little heads up, I'm bringing you over to this side of the presentation here. Let's see, promote the panels. And in way of introduction, I want to share with you, Pat Andersen has become one of our top income earners. I'm not going to embarrass other people and say what her name. Hey, Pat, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Lovely. How are you doing?
Good, 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 good. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Give me just a moment. I want to introduce you properly. Pat has kind of been an accidental distributor. She started for the products. I'm going to have her share her story, but I want you to be aware of the kinds of people that join us. Pat is and her husband were quite successful before Zija. Jim had his own business, significant business in the energy industry. Pat ran several businesses. I mean, they weren't looking for more money. What we had that they didn't have was time, freedom, and residual income. Now, Pat has been able to grow the business to be one of our top earners, now multiple 7 figures. She's kind of, modest, she won't say that. But in particular, I want you to recognize the kinds of people that participate with what we're doing. And Pat, and this is my way of saying thank you to you. Pat Andersen has become one of our distributor advisory board members. She's one of 8 people, leaders in the field, who are volunteering their time to work directly with our corporate executive management team, Jeremy Red and his team, to help build the company. And it takes a lot of time and effort, and she still has a substantial business. So Pat, on behalf of everybody in Zija, and certainly myself, thank you so much for your commitment of time to the Distributor Advisory Board. I can't tell you how much we appreciate all that you do to participate in, in helping all of us build our business.
Well, it's been a lot of fun over the years. I'm glad you made that call, and I joined Zija. Gosh, it's Fred, that's going to be 12 years in March.
Yep.
It's so hard to believe where the years have gone by. As Fred said, for me, it's all about the product. And it's still about the product, but I totally understand that the more people that we get into the business, the more the product gets out there for people to use, and so that we're helping more and more all the time. So it's hand in hand. So one is not better than the other. They work totally in conjunction. And so Fred, over the last 12 years, I've been blessed to have just some amazing people, partnering with me on this journey, and it's taken us around the world now, which is taking up a lot of our time. And, that's fun. Now Ken Brailsford, you remember back in 2008, he said, we need to take this product and share it around the world and help people with their health. And we're really getting to do that now. And so, I don't know, it's been a lot of fun there, but it also made me a little gray. No, I'm joking, guys. I've always been gray.
Well, and Pat, here is something that's very interesting, because I had a couple of our team members that met with us there in Scottsdale that have been around for quite some while, and they said something that you and I were talking about. Now, almost a dozen years using Moringa oleifera products from Zija, we frankly are in better shape, better looking, better health than a dozen years ago. I mean, a dozen years ago, since then I've lost 40 pounds. I got more lean muscle mass. I just turned 65. I'm in the best shape of my life, and and you know, and I feel better than I've felt in ages. Now
Yeah.
we're aging in reverse, right?
That's a really good thing.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, those statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. You just evaluate it for yourself, all right? Now, Pat, let me do this because I want to cover a couple of things here for, you know, with a focus on, you know, our guests. They were invited to take a look at what we're doing and whether or not it's a fit for them. So maybe we could start out with, what was your life like prior to Zija? Because I'm looking for, what was the motivation to even bother to get involved with us?
Very, very busy. As you said, you know, Jim and I have been, you know, successful in many different facets of our life. You know, we weren't looking necessarily for a business opportunity. And I have to stop there, because as people are recruiting, um, you need to be open to everyone, and you can't prejudge. Okay. When Fred prospected me, he didn't know who I was, didn't know my background, didn't actually know anything at all about me. He got my number from David Moses, actually. And so he didn't prejudge if I needed the product, the business, or anything. He just gave me the information, and I went and took a look at it to see if it was a right fit for me. And that's so important, because a lot of times we're too afraid to talk to somebody that's successful, because they're going to say, oh, well, they don't need it. You know, they don't. Well, guess what? My husband and I did need this. 7 years ago, I was able to retire my husband. I wouldn't have been able to do that without Zija. So, you know, that's a very important thing. Now we get to play golf. I still work a lot, but, you know, we have a life together now, which we never had, Fred.
Yeah, that always was really intriguing to me, that you would say that, you know, for the first couple of years you were building your Zija business. Jim was still doing his deal, and I remember when he finally got to that point where in time where he could actually spend 4 months out of the year at home, instead of only 2 or 3, because you were augmenting his business. It was like, really? You guys have been married that long, but it's only been for 2 or 3 months at a time? And see, folks, a lot of people don't get this. Jim and Pat, you know, separately, they made a lot of money. Together, they made really good money. And who would think that they'd be looking for something like this? Now, when I introduced you to Zija, your real focus wasn't initially on the business. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what attracted you to the, you know, if you will, the end result of what we do, which is sharing our products.
It actually took a while for me to look at the business and even talk about the business. And I know many times I would do a presentation, and afterwards, and I see Dr. Ben's on the line here, and they would say, Pat, don't you think we should tell them that there's an opportunity? And I would do the whole meeting just so excited about the product that I would forget to say, guess what? You can not only take the product, but you can share the product and make a difference in other people's lives. Okay. And as soon as I think it was Ben and a couple of other people, they said to me, you've got to start really talking about that part. And that's when it started. I would say the business started duplicating faster for me. Okay. Trust me, we had a lot of distributors, kind of the blind leading the blind for a long time, but we sure had a lot of customers. And they were all buying the product every single month. And then what we did was we developed those customers into distributors. You know, still some of my top distributors were customers. They just wanted to share, but we all got the vision. And that was from you and David Moses, you know, and it was my ears opening up to the coaching. Okay.
Now, and that makes total sense, because you were, you know, with your background in holistic natural health, so focused on the product, and you know, and you built one of the strongest customer bases in Zija because of it. Now, you have a very strong background in, you know, high level corporate finances, you know, small and medium sized business ownerships. I know you still have a few franchises and so on. Maybe you can kind of compare and contrast, because you come from a traditional business world. And when we're speaking to people that are, you know, small, medium-sized business owners or self-employed contractor kinds like I was an independent trucker. Maybe you can contrast the difference between creating income in a traditional business model versus creating income in a network marketing or multi-level business model.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have owned, you know, everything from grocery stores to, you know, multiple franchises, etc. And all I was doing was trading time and money. You know, I'm being honest. It was hours and hours and hours and money going out the door because I had overhead, I had staff, I had this and that. And it wasn't a lot of fun. And so it really, really wasn't. And so actually in the 1990s, I started up my own international company selling and manufacturing natural products. Don't get me wrong, I still have that company. It'll always be a big part of my life. But I had a little bit more freedom with that one, but I still did a lot of trade shows. And you know, when we met, I told you, I said, Fred, I'm not going to be able to train anybody. You know, we have to have a partnership here. You know, you have to do the training because what was I, you know, 5 days a week at a trade show. And that was my focus was, you know, promoting my product. And then I introduced Zija into that, which is what grew my Zija business. But you have to understand, people that have traditional businesses, they're always worried about the bottom line. Am I going to have enough money to pay all the bills, to be able to stock my shelves, to be able to pay, you know, all my staff, on and on and on. And now with healthcare, you know, so many companies are now having to pay for a portion of people's healthcare. So they don't have that kind of money. The raise, you know, people's wages, you've got to give a person an increase in their wages every year. A lot can't afford that. And so people are getting farther and farther behind these days when I listen to them. What I like about this profession of network marketing is I decide the end result. Nobody decides but me. If I want to make $1,000 a month or $500 a month, I can help with my upline figure out how many hours it's going to take to do that. If I decide I want to make $10,000 a month, I have to work a lot harder, and on and on and on. And so the type of person I am is I'm always looking at the end versus right in front of me. So I've always geared, I think, my business of the end in mind, like my goals right now of where I want to be at the end of this year and the end of next year. I already have it. Everything's mapped out, and I know what I have to do to get there. Okay, and we don't fly by the seat of our pants and hope it happens. You have to make it happen. And I think too many people get into network marketing and they don't realize the discipline that it takes. It's very hard to be self-employed. Trust me, I would rather be golfing 7 days a week. All right? It's just
and Jim loves that.
Well, he likes going out with the men's. So that's okay. But I would rather do something like that 7 days of the week versus sitting behind my computer. But guess what? I have to. If I'm going to get those goals achieved, I've got to put the work in just like I would if I worked in a regular office. I have to do the work to get the results. And that is the hardest part for people to understand when you're self-employed.
Well, and you know, it's interesting to me because everybody works hard. Mm-hmm. Okay, they show up for work at 8 in the morning, they do the things they're asked to do, they stay focused, they go home, and they're going to do that, you know, for 50 years mm-hmm. for most people. Okay, these days. We used to say 40 years, but now it's 50 years. Right. And what's interesting is transferring those skills to self-employment with a few little minor things. You got to be the boss. So that means you have to tell yourself to show up. You got to tell yourself what you're going to do. For many of us, it's been, well, for a guy like me, I never did well working for the county. Talk about a square peg in a round hole, that didn't work for me. But to be able to do it in your own time frame, where you want to do it. I know you split your time between, your ranch in Oklahoma, your golf place in Arizona, and then in Florida. You spend a lot of time out in Florida. You get to do it where you want. and you get to do it in the, you know, I guarantee you that when it's time to go golfing, you find a way to go golfing, don't you? You don't have to ask the boss.
I book it off ahead of time.
Yeah, see, and for me, I got a great boss. My boss had decided I needed a high performance V10 race car as a company car, so I got it.
I got it. You know,
Pat, we got about.
Yeah, I'm going to steal one thing. Okay, we did a Zoom today training for Turkey, and I'm going to steal something from Reed Nelson because it is so true. People come to us and say, I don't have any time. Okay, I didn't have any time. So let's break it down. Okay, so this is what he did. We have 168 hours in a week. Everybody has the same amount.
Yep.
40 of those hours could be used for working. Another 40 hours for sleeping. There's 80 hours. Let's go, got a couple of hours here for church. We've got a, you know, grandbaby's thing or this or that. So let's get rid of another 40 hours. We still have over 30 hours in that week. And you can't come up with 5 hours a week to build a business? You don't want it very bad.
There you go. You know, and it's so interesting. People be willing to spend an hour, you know, watching some Netflix deal, but they don't have time to change their life.
Mm-hmm. And this is life changing. That's what you know, unless you get in it and really work it and see what you can accomplish, you'll never know. And what I like about network marketing is you have a team there that is invested in your success. All right. When I was climbing corporate ladder, do you think they were happy when I bypassed them and I bypassed my boss? Not a chance. They did everything they could to knock me back down. You know what? The greatest day is when my team underneath me are higher than I am. And I know you. When I became Diamond Elite, you know, there wasn't a prouder papa out there. You know, and that's what this profession is about, is always helping those to achieve great levels. And I love it.
Well, Pat, I wish we had more time because there's several other things I wanted to ask you. I'm going to just ask you, would you be willing to come back in a few weeks and do this again with me?
Yeah, we can do that.
Excellent. Pat, thank you so much for everything you do for all of us here in Zija and the leadership that you're providing. And I love the glasses. They are happening.
Oh, look, see, even tiger eyes on that side. Yeah.
Woo! Thank you, Pat. You're the best. I appreciate you. Say hi to Jim for me.
I will.
Okay, we're going to let Pat go back over to the other side. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a few minutes here to share with you a little bit about who we are, you know, our company, who runs the company, just an overview on the products, you know, certainly not in depth on that, a little bit about the timing. We have many resources to fill in the blanks. This was not designed to be all the information that you would ever need. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is actually two things. I want you to contact the person that invited you to be part of this presentation, or maybe they directed you to the video replay link on YouTube. That person will be able to get you access to whatever information you need to know more about. Maybe it's more about our products. Maybe it's more about the details of how do you build a successful network marketing business? How do you develop a residual income? How do you create the time freedom you're looking for, or the supplemental income without disturbing your current life? Whatever it is you're looking for, the person that asked you to be part of this presentation, they'll get you that information. Just ask them. If they're brand new, there's somebody part of their support team, like myself or Pat or somebody else, who will get in touch with you and give you that information. Second thing I want to do is I want to encourage you to join us on some of our other presentations. On Wednesday evening, Pat Andersen does a broadcast predominantly focused on product information. Okay, you can access that through her website, clubmoringa.com, Wednesday evenings, 9:30 Eastern time. I want to do a special invitation for those of you that are ready to get started. Maybe you've heard enough. Maybe you're like me. You want what we got, and you'll figure it out along the way. If we're willing to help you, we're willing to help you. Saturday morning, this coming Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. East Coast time, we will be hosting a special new distributor training that will give you step by step the guidelines you need to get your business started, to start developing your customer base, the residual income, and show you whatever level of success you're looking for. We've got the plan to show you. And so I invite you to come back to that same webinar link as you joined us here today, fredholmes.com/webinar. With that, one more shout out to Pat Andersen. We appreciate you so much, Pat. In particular, thank you for joining us tonight. And folks, we'll go ahead and let you go for tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday morning, bright and early. Well, bright and early for me, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's a lie, I get up real early. We'll see you 10 in the morning Pacific time on New Distributor Training. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.